Have you ever been asked, or maybe along the lines of whenever we first opened our cafes, you're talking to a family member at your Thanksgiving party, and they say, have you guys broken even? I would like to ask, do people know what that means? Do people know what it means to break even? And maybe are they asking the wrong question?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ethan from Valor. Welcome to another episode of the Valor Coffee Podcast. We did forget to do a little intro after we broke down, so I'm in Riley's office. It's kind of epic, but hey, welcome to the program. Me and Ross and Riley got to talk about water, coffee, other stuff. Cafe viability, cafe profitability. What does it mean to break even? What does it mean to be profitable? And looking at your cash flow statements and your P&L and other things like that to kind of help give you a holistic picture of how your company's doing. So really helpful for me, really fun for you, I hope. So as always, the program is brought to you in part by Clive and Third Wave Water. So shout out those guys. And if you use code VALOR5 at checkout on Clive Coffee, you get 5% off all Luca and Eureka products. And then use code VALOR at checkout for 10% off your Third Wave Water. And also shouting out our summer blend tan lines, a little 60-40 blend of Natty Colombian, that time and time again, Kenya, Nairi Hill State. So good. Either get it in the web store or come by a cafe and get a cuppa. But hope you all enjoy the show, and we'll see you around. Peace.
All right, welcome back to another episode, people. I'm here with Ethan and Ross. I'm Riley, and we're going to chop it up. We're going to chop it up.
I missed you guys.
Yeah, we haven't seen each other in a
You guys were gallivanting without me.
No.
Yes.
No. There was no gallivanting happening without you.
Let's just say there's a lot of social tension going on between me and Ross and Riley, but I think we're going to persevere today.
Yeah, we'll put it all behind us.
And we have a big night tonight.
Yeah.
We do. It's Men of Valor night.
We should speak to that. That's a cool thing that we do.
Yeah.
Why don't you speak to it?
I'm good. We just like to get together with our crew. So we're having a guys' night. Ross has got a huge keynote planned. Mm-hmm. Pickleball is on the agenda. And then steak, baby. Steaks.
Just going to grill some steaks.
I don't even think we need to grill them. We just need to throw them like frisbees
like a tartar.
In our mouths.
Yeah. A tartar situation, but like the whole steak.
Yeah. It's like go to Walmart, eat the steak raw.
I'm thinking of going to a local butcher as opposed to like Whole Foods.
This guy's got a good spot for you.
Yeah? Is it nearby?
It's in Duluth.
Okay, maybe not. There's that new place over by Haynesbridge Starbucks area in the Quick Trip or whatever. There's a butcher there. I might go there.
Oh yeah,
it's called like Cleaver and something.
Leaving.
But yeah, so we do that, and then we also do Women of Valor.
That's what came first,
right? That was and so, how did that come to be?
That came to be. Hey, if you're out there, you're listening, and you're like, you're wrong, let me know. But I'm pretty sure it was just like we were kind of sitting under the revelation that we are 3 beautiful white men who own a business, and we have a lot of
inherently bad.
Yeah, and we have a lot of people. We don't have a lot of people. We have people that work for us, and we have women that work for us, and we just want to always give space every day, but kind of dedicate space to talking about like, what's it like working at Valor as a woman? What's it like working with men who are who own the company? What's it like serving guests and just kind of making space? What's it like working with other guys and just trying to give voice to that space and honor and build up and equip our women? And it's really cool because the last 2 years, I used to be involved in them, and it was really hard and awesome to be a part of it. But now we have women leaders that host and do it. And that's like one of Lilybee's favorite days of the year. It's getting to host the Women of Valor night. And I know Mikey's always enjoyed it. And now Savvy's getting to have her hand in it. So, that's awesome. And then I think we were kind of encouraged to start a guys thing to build up the dudes.
Yep.
kind of funny. I always want to call it boys of valor.
Mm.
I don't know why.
You
Kind of
can.
demeaning.
Yeah.
Like a
we're always
good
a little
way.
playful, but maybe today it's the men of valor. We're like, hey, you're men. We're gonna start treating you like
Let's
men.
act like it.
Finally.
Let's act like it.
Yeah.
Boys
Right.
to men.
I think it was the
Gonna punch you.
women that encouraged us to start Men of Valor. They were like, hey, why don't you guys do Men of Valor? And we're like, duh.
We're like, play video games?
Yeah. I mean, on the note of like the accountability and transparency
You got
accountability, transparency. I've noticed throughout the years of being a leader and business owner that you can say, we want your feedback. Like, it's a safe place to talk to us about anything that's going on, like any of your thoughts you're having, anything you want to bring up, like just knock on the door, like set up a meeting.
I'm always here.
But it's like, that doesn't actually work.
You kind of have to seek it out.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there is some component of people not wanting to throw their coworkers under the bus.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're seeking out, feedback or even just saying, like, I remember whenever we first started, before we had employees, I was like, I never want to be a place that doesn't come and ask, hey, how can I do a better job? And I think I don't ask that enough.
Yeah.
And I should ask it more.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course there can be dynamics between genders, and especially when you're the boss, and I don't know, that it would be crazy to assume that, I'm like a big 6'7" man guy. And if I just like, it'd be crazy to assume that everyone feels completely safe and like not skittish around me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I have to extend myself, make myself vulnerable, seek out feedback for me to actually get it. And so like those Women of Valor nights, like it's a place for them to talk about literally anything.
Mm-hmm.
Which was funny. Like it sounds funny that like you used to go because it's Women of Valor, but you would like it made sense at the time. I don't know. Like you would make dinner for everyone. It was like a cool moment for you to serve them. But looking back on it, like it's great that that was also a time where we didn't necessarily have women in positions of authority.
Totally.
Just because we weren't at that point in our business of having anyone in positions of authority. So it makes sense now. And it's probably way better now.
And it was like 6 people.
Yeah, it probably wasn't called Women of Valor. It's like Ethan's having the women that work at Valor come to his house for dinner.
Yeah.
And my wife would be there and we'd make them dinner. And then it's like making space, asking those hard questions. And that is what you're saying is really true, is like the first couple of times it like, took a little bit of like getting past the, I love Valor. Everything's good. Everything's fine. And then you're like, oh man, actually this is terrible. This one aspect, like this is really difficult, or this seems really unhealthy.
Yeah.
Or like this dynamic is hard. So yeah, kind of digging for it. I mean, you are looking for trouble, and I understand why people would not want to engage in that, but it's like, you got to find the wounds and try to heal them proactively instead of just like letting things blow up in your face.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to find them if they don't naturally come up, which they don't.
That's why like HR departments send out anonymous surveys to their staff, which I honestly think is like kind of worse because it's so impersonal.
I know.
And that just creates like a negative feedback loop. But I'm gonna do that today. I'm gonna leave this podcast and I'm gonna go ask Sam how I can be a better guy.
And he's gonna be like, "What happened to you? What's wrong with you?"
He's gonna be like, "I have a couple things."
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a really something I think Willoughby spoke into us that has not left me about how I want to run this business is I never want to be in a place where I'm not able to receive feedback from people on the team, And so sometimes it is that season of you got to go get it. And then there's other times where there's people on your team that have that challenger dog in them, that will bring it to you. And that's a gift in its own way. But I love that, man. Hey, good luck with that. I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that sounds awesome
Yeah.
for you.
Awesome.
Let
and
us
then
know.
on the program next week, just let us know what he said and how you plan to fix all of it.
Mm. Yeah. Well, it's just a funny thing. It's like Lyndon is new here. Hey, Lyndon.
So, Lyndon.
I think a couple times I've asked her so far in her 3 weeks, hey, how are things going? How are you feeling about this? But that's just like because I think like maybe with like Sam, I'm just like, he's been around. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
he gets the drill. But
Yeah.
like that, I mean, and we do health checks where I do ask things like that. But being able to tailor it more towards like my performance as his person that he should be able to, I should be there to support him. So how am I not supporting him?
Yeah. No, I think
Or
it's
Lyndon.
I think it's a really great question to ask. Like, hey, how's it been going at your work here? But it's a different question to be like, do you have any feedback for me as a leader?
Yeah.
You know, like, or like, if you had to say something I could improve on, what would it be? You know, hypothetically.
I know there's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just make something up.
Yeah.
Well, that was some good discourse. How about these coffees? What are we drinking?
Dude, hey, 3 coffees on the table. 2 of them brewed with third wave water. Hey, we'll get to that later. 1 coffee. Now, I wasn't around the roastery. These are just here, so you guys might know the background a little better. But we got a coffee from Weeby. Do you guys know where Weeby's based out of?
Yeah. Let me just pull up that email chain.
Oh, awesome.
I was talking with TJ over at Weeby.
But it was a Columbia Pink Bourbon Huila. It was cool. Something I liked about that, they had a card, which is over on the table, but good radio, can't leave the table. It kind of mentioned that there was it mentioned the amount of farms that were like a part of the process, maybe instead of like just giving a single origin, like, this is from Colombia, this region, it kind of like highlighted a little bit more specifically the data, and then we got some coffee from 3 Tree Coffee Roasters down in our state, Georgia, in Statesboro. You guys ever been to Statesboro?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I
For
actually have
gigs?
not.
Yeah. There's this one venue down there we always play at.
Music
Yes.
or football?
Weddings.
Weddings.
Love
TJ
Georgia
Sutton from Weeby. Just we'll get back to Statesboro in just a second. Is that cool?
Awesome, Ross. Thanks.
He said, "Yo, excited to share this coffee with y'all. Chial. I think it was more of a chial. It was great getting to meet each of you at SCA, and I just wanted to say I really enjoy / benefit from the podcast and all that you guys do. Thanks and keep up the great work, TJ Sutton." And he does write in all caps, Riley.
Let's go. Respect, TJ.
Nice
It was
card.
also good to meet you. You seem like an awesome guy.
Yes, indeed. Fellow tall guy. I think he was easily above 6'4".
Very impressive.
TJ, comment your height below so people can know. We'll pin that.
I don't want
comment.
to spread mis or disinformation on that. But yeah, thanks so much, TJ.
That's epic. So
And then obviously we've got this cool bag.
It's sick. Screen print, maybe?
Well, people are saying it's screen print, but we need to hear from TJ. How the heck did you get this? It looks like a really textured. My estimation is that it is a sponge stamp of sorts, like a custom sponge. And they dip it in paint, and then
There's like a what do
he's
they call that?
saying sponge. I'm going to say block printing.
Yeah.
We did the Valor vintage work,
Mhm.
and we roll on the block.
Yeah,
It's good.
it's really cool.
Yeah. It
Congratulations.
looks nice on the craft, especially with the white backing. It's nice. It's
And it
nice.
looks like you may have to stamp it twice for 2 colors.
So nice. You have to stamp it twice.
Yep.
And then back to 3 Tree. Sorry.
Yep. Back to 3 Trees. Thank you, Ross. Yep. 3 Tree Coffee Roasters out of Statesboro. We are drinking their, not this one, but it's just a washed Colombian, and I'm forgetting all the details about it.
You know what? I may have been to 3 Tree. I went to a
No.
coffee shop in Statesboro on one of the
Hey,
gigs.
fun little story about 3 Tree, y'all. My friend Matthew was moving down to Statesboro because he was going to go to Georgia Southern University, go Eagles. And we were just getting into specialty coffee at the time. And I was looking for specialty coffee for him to go drink because we were like starting to like drink coffee together. Sorry, I just spat a lot. Oops. Claiming my
Spittle.
territory. Yep, spittle. Hopefully that doesn't mess with our test we're going to get to later. Hey, stay tuned for that, y'all. And
Our triple blind taste test.
anyways, there was a coffee cart in like the library of Georgia Southern.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Dude, honestly, I don't even think it was. I feel like it was like Three Pines. So maybe either they changed their name. I'm wrong.
They went for all the trees.
Or it was Three Trees, and here we are.
The powers that be at 3 Tree, comment below with what the story actually is.
Did you have a cart on campus? Do you still have a cart on campus? And what's your favorite pizza topping?
Update, I have not been to 3 Tree. It's a different place.
You're kidding.
There's like a different like specialty shop.
It was a coffee shop.
Okay.
It was a wonderful coffee shop.
Beautiful.
Hey, can I read you guys a text I received?
As long as I can show you guys a YouTube video later.
David after dentist.
Sure, dude.
So
Sure.
funny.
Dude.
No, it's
Dude,
the
so
I Like Turtles Zombie Kid.
I never got that one.
I like turtles.
What about oh yeah, actually I did.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
Yeah. What are some other like classic viral YouTube videos while Riley's pulling that up?
All right, I've got it.
Never mind.
I
We'll
received
get back to that
a
later.
text from Valor Pit crew member Paul Judy that said, "Tan lines on vacay is absolute fire. Finally picked up the Stag XF and I'm immediately impressed. Told Ethan this is my favorite cup of Valor coffee I've ever had. I also use third wave water and I'd say 60% better, no cap. So you heard it here.
We don't
60% better, scientifically proved.
We don't even pay this guy to say that stuff.
We
just
pay
like-
him to work.
We just pay him to
Yeah.
do other stuff.
I know. I had another moment like that where I was demonstrating my espresso setup at home to Kent over the weekend. He walks in my house and he's immediately like, "Are you going to make me an espresso?" And then we like started talking. He was like, "No, seriously, like, are you going to make me an espresso?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so I did. And I pulled out the third wave water and I was like, "I'm using this because I like it, not even because I'm sponsored."
I'm not paid to do this at home.
Yeah, I'm not paid to do it at home. So 60% better. You can bet. But why do we love third wave water?
Because it's cool.
That's right.
It's just for the image.
Yeah.
Well, third wave water, in case you don't know, coffee is actually 90 plus
Something.
90+% water.
90%
Your morning cuppa is more than just the coffee. It's actually mostly water. Therefore, the water you use to extract that coffee and the mineral content of that water has a lot to do with the quality of that extraction. Is that right?
That's
and
right.
so what you can do with third wave water is get a gallon jug, right, Riley? You
That's
love
right.
this part.
I love this part.
Of distilled water, which or RO'd water. Are we going with that too?
Yeah,
Reverse osmosis.
sure.
Point is, distilled and reverse osmosis water does not have any mineral content. That's sort of the whole point.
That's right.
Which we'll get to later.
Right.
But yeah, you add a third wave water packet to the gallon, and boom, immediately you have water that is optimized for coffee brewing.
Yeah. That's
I wonder
right.
if it tastes better too.
The water itself,
The water itself,
I've tasted it.
and it tastes worse.
No, I think it tastes about the same. But that speaks volumes to the unseen,
Oh, Riley.
because I've
Wow.
brewed water from the tap. I brewed water from my fridge filter, and
Pool.
I brewed third wave water,
Pool water.
hot tub. And third wave water, it's at least 60% better.
But
So,
the hot tub water takes the cake, has the best.
yeah.
You would think like third wave water is paying for like our houses with how much love we're giving them on this ad roll.
I know.
Yeah,
But-
can we please move on?
But it's serious. That's why we have
Hey, look,
that's why we
that's
have
fine.
one direct sponsorship here, because we actually like it.
No, it's really good.
So
Very grateful.
anyways, you got light roast profile, espresso machine profile, dark roast, medium roast, cold brew, low acid. The cool thing, if you get the espresso profile, it's not going to scale your machine. It's not going to damage your boilers.
That's
So,
important, especially if you have an expensive. I almost said an expensive espresso machine.
Expensive ads.
Yeah, I mean you'll ruin your boiler.
Yeah. So if you're, using a cart, I think they sell 5-gallon packets as well. So get those, throw it in the 5-gallon jug, and you have excellent water no matter where you
Okay,
go.
I'm on the edge of my seat. Please, can we take the parts per million test on these waters?
So a few weeks back, Ross and I had a moment of idiocy, which is typical here.
We had ignorance.
Which is typical here on the Valor Coffee podcast.
But we're learning.
But we are learning, and you're learning with us. We took water TDS with our VST coffee refractometer. And that refractometry was not accurate.
Not cogent.
Because it doesn't measure in parts per million, allegedly, said someone in our messages. And so we're using our third wave water TDS meter, which we had stored back there and we should have used in the first place. So we're going to test distilled water, we're going to test tap water, and we're going to test third wave water in distilled water.
Our tap water goes through a pretty legit filtering system, so I'm really curious about that one.
Me too.
Yeah.
Quad filtered. Ross.
So we've got a little pre-filter. Actually, a big pre-filter. Our water filtration is like mounted almost on the ceiling, which is kind of funny. If you ever come here, you'll see it. But yeah, pre-filter, and then 3 Everpure random product number.
Micron technology.
So here we go. We're just going to dip this thing in here to distilled water, and we're at 0 parts per million.
Something's up.
So that seems
epic.
We're going to give that
not just putting
the old shake,
like gross like lake water in.
And here's our water. We're looking at 49 parts per 0.49, 50 parts per million.
0.49.
What?
50. Like,
okay.
Yeah, 50.
That seems suboptimal.
Well,
please.
Let's see what we got here. All right. Give me some guesses. What do you think is this light roast profile?
Dude, I don't know anything.
Just guess.
35.
35, okay. So you think it's lower?
The way you looked at me.
I'm going 36.
152.
Oh my gosh.
That's much better. That's actually a lot better.
Well, I mean.
So we need to remineralize is what you're telling me.
Which makes total sense.
Yeah.
Right? I mean.
For sure.
I think if it's only taking away.
The point of this water filtration is you're taking away the odor, right? Of like normal just tap water.
Sulfur.
You're taking away other things.
Dirt.
And that's probably what the pre-filter's for, sort of like a coarse filter type thing to get anything big. And then you got 3-stage filtration after that. Yada, yada, yada. But yeah, we probably do need to remineralize. And
that's why these third wave water brews have been tasting
so vibrant.
My understanding just from like hearsay years ago was like 120 to 150 ppm was Premier. So that seems right on the cash money.
162.
Wow, it's getting better. It's getting more mineralized as we go. Hey, check our tap water. Maybe it got more minerals in the meantime.
No, same amount of minerals.
So maybe the minerals in third wave water are like
they're reproducing.
Well, maybe we will look at a remineralizer. Hey, if you're a company that has remineralizers and you want to get a piece of this podcast,
if you want 3 accounts, no cap.
Yeah, true.
Is there any room to remineralize on the Dunwoody bar under the counter? No. But I don't know how big a remineralizer is.
Right.
Maybe it's not very large.
Dude, for real though? For real?
What's up? Talk to me, man. Let me in.
Our coffee could be so much better at our cafes.
Bro.
I'm not even capping.
But isn't it good enough?
A wise man once said, never settle for good enough.
That was Mr. Onyx.
And I think in that spirit, we should look at remineralization.
Me espresso.
I knew you were going to go there today. That's a new song. And it's
brand new.
Yeah, brand new track.
Anyways, we really should look at that because I bet especially our by the cup coffees would be more vibrant.
Maybe 60%.
Maybe even 60%.
Up to 60% better. Yeah. Elijah, I don't know what he settled on, But
I know. Yeah.
he was looking at a lot of filtration things, and he was like, I think I'm going to remineralize. So
Hey, and if he's doing it,
then we have to.
and we need to do it
We
before
can't let him be better than us.
No, we can't.
They're like, hey, I only get free throw from Elliott Cafe.
They're competitors.
Yeah, they're our competitors.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, this was a little cool. I had a lot of fun doing that.
No, I
whole
really
thing.
enjoy, taste tests and such.
Yeah. Taste each one.
Okay.
Is it true that I feel like talking about health and matter of fact is difficult on live air, but isn't one not supposed to just drink distilled water?
I don't know anything about all that.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't know, but
You
I
got-
have
you
also
gotta taste that one.
I've also kind of heard that.
All right. Maybe this one has more because it got more of my spit in it when I was like,
Yep.
Yeah, I think the distilled water almost oddly tastes more like salty,
Huh.
which is really odd. But anyways,
Very interesting.
I know.
Okay.
mm-hmm.
Yep. Ethan's drinking the water. For those just
All
listening.
right, just a quick little message to all of our fans. Just kidding. All of our listeners out there, if you have any topics that not that we're short on topics or anything, but if you have any topics that you'd like for us to cover, or heck, any guests you'd be interested in hearing from that we could bring on to the program, we'd love to hear that because we do this for you guys. So if you have anything you want us to cover, email us at info@valor.coffee. And I can almost guarantee you we will either cover that topic or we will point you to an episode where we did cover that topic.
Or we'll think about covering that topic.
Yeah, or we'll consider thinking about covering that topic.
Yeah.
Before we get into our main course, I think there's rumors flying around that the community is dropping on August 1st.
I did hear that.
And that's scary to say.
I can't believe you're saying that on air.
I know. Me either.
Me espresso either.
But it's coming along. We just Lyndon just made something for it, and it's really cool. I'm not gonna say what it is.
The
thing.
The thing we saw yesterday.
Yeah.
That was cool.
A little printable that you can hang in your back room / office for the team to check out.
That's kind of epic.
It's gonna be goated. I'm really excited for it.
That's like the smallest thing in the community, and it's really cool.
And it's tiny.
Yeah, it's so small.
Yeah, but you can make it bigger.
Yeah, it's true.
You can print it anything, any size.
Yeah.
So when we drop, we're gonna have a Barista 101 course
Mm-hmm.
that is recorded almost in its entirety,
That's right.
and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be really great.
Yeah, be a good peek into how we train our people at Valor.
Have you ever been asked, or maybe along the lines of whenever we first opened our cafes, you're talking to a family member at your Thanksgiving party,
Your
and
barbecue.
they say, "Have you guys broken even?
Yes.
Has that new cafe? When do you think it's going to break even?" And you're like, I want to talk about that because I'm the host and I get to pick the topics every week. Right?
It's not how it works.
I would like to ask, do people know what that means? Do people know what it means to break even? And maybe are they asking the wrong question? Just opened our cafes. You're talking to a family member at your Thanksgiving party.
Your
and
barbecue.
they say, have you guys broken even?
Yes.
Has that new cafe, when do you think it's going to break even? And you're like, I want to talk about that because I'm the host and I get to pick the topics every week. Right?
It's not how it works.
I would like to ask, do people know what that means? Do people know what it means to break even? And maybe are they asking the wrong question? Not because they're dumb, because they're ignorant.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when people ask that question, what I think they mean is you have all of the costs associated with opening the coffee shop.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, your espresso machine, your build out, your first coffee order, have all these startup costs. have you profited enough money in that business to cover all of that expense? And then you are officially in the black, as it were, and you have profited enough money to where you've made more money than you've spent. I think that is what a lot of people mean when they say, have you broke even yet?
Is that what you think people mean?
No.
Well,
Done.
maybe we
Done.
can just
It's
navigate.
crazy.
We can navigate nuance.
And maybe it is, but I think even with that, they would have to see the numbers to understand how hard that actually is.
how like not viable of a business a coffee shop is if you look at it on paper.
Yes. So let me give you an example. I don't know if any of you viewers and listeners out there know who Alex Hermosi is. He's this guy,
Always wearing nose strips.
marketing guy. He looks wild, but he's awesome. He's jacked, so to speak.
Yeah, kind of like a John the Baptist, like
Rugged
like
type.
he's
He's
wild,
got-
he's crazy, but
Yeah.
if you really listen to him, he's got some good things
He's
to say.
bugs too.
Yeah. This is just like raw honey, like crazy stuff.
Yeah,
So he has some topics about starting a brick and mortar business. And when he's talking about it, a lot of times he's talking about brick and mortar service businesses like an accounting firm or chiropractic, gym, salon, that sort of thing.
service.
Yeah. So in one of his books, I can't remember which one, or a video or something, he basically gives all of his books away for free via videos. And I think that even they're available as audiobooks on his podcast. So he talks about how whenever you open a brick and mortar location, you should shoot for paying back the build out within like under a year and even more likely like 3 months, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he is speaking in terms, so think about if you were to go and open an accounting firm, that your build out might be as simple as like renting an office space. You don't have to tear out any walls. You don't have to do any plumbing. You furnish it with desks and computers and IT stuff, and that's it. You probably could break even in a couple months.
Yeah.
With this business we're talking about, our build out costs are like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we were selling $3 cups of coffee. So that is kind of where I want to start, is that people are asking if we've broken even. A build out might be $400,000. And then in the first year at a busy coffee shop, I mean, I don't know what you consider busy, but it's like, let's say you make $800,000. After you go through all that, if your net profit bottom line is what, like 10%, $80,000 is a lot less than
$400,000.
It's a lot less than $400,000. I'm not saying you have to spend $400,000, and I think that is another topic entirely that we can get to. Doing a skinny coffee shop, which equals making a lot of money for us, like Alpharetta, what we did there. Ding, it might be the way.
Yeah. And just back to the accounting firm, back a few minutes ago when I said that coffee shops aren't viable businesses, that I don't mean that necessarily just those words, but the context around that is when you compare it to an accounting firm. If you just look at those two businesses on paper, pretend you were an investor and you're like, I'm choosing these two businesses, accounting firm or coffee shop to invest in, and purely on the merits of their finances. It's like your costs for accounting, you've got your software, you got your computers, you got the people that you're paying.
And accountants listening to this and they're like, these,
I know.
It's just ignorance.
You're paying for your Wi-Fi,
Rent.
and so on and so forth. But in a coffee shop, like our costs are way higher. And it's a volume business, and we're selling $3 cups of coffee instead of like, however much we got to get my friend Nate on the program. He works in an accounting firm. Maybe he can tell us about it.
You've never told us about your friend Nate.
I know Nate.
Yeah. Nate Wagner.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry.
He plays keys at the weddings and with Riley at the
Good guy.
Oh yeah, great guy.
We always say $3 a cup of coffee, and that's the cheapest thing on the menu. We're selling like frequently $8 coffees, and it's still the same thing, which is just really funny to me.
Yeah.
It's still the same thing in terms of like proportionally speaking.
Viability and like sustainability. Like nothing. I feel like we're constantly chasing costs.
Yeah.
Like we're not. Yeah.
Yeah. So back to this whole thing, and I don't think this is going to be a super, super long topic because we could just spin into a million different episodes off of this.
Which we will.
Which we absolutely will. Or it'll be in the community. When you look at those numbers, like let's say, and this can really influence how much you're going to spend on your build out, but if we were talking about $400,000, which we're saying that is because that's what we put into our Dunwoody Cafe. If you're looking at $400,000, or it's what I can't remember. I'd have to look at it. It's like what we would have if we wouldn't have done a lot of stuff ourselves. Something.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
I honestly don't know. We should know.
We've said it before when we knew more. We just forget.
Because we're ignorant.
And maybe because we're stupid on that account.
That one would just be stupid.
Yeah. So if you're looking at the number $400,000, we were saying if you make $800,000, which not all locations are going to do,
Mm-hmm.
and if you profit 10%, which not all locations are going to do, especially in year one.
Yeah.
Hey, I was going to say
Let
that.
them finish.
Yeah, let me finish.
Sorry, host.
So if you don't do that in year one, maybe you get closer in year two, but still don't do it. And then you do that in year three, and maybe you do more the next year. I'm just saying that's several years to get back to that number. And then it's like, you're also want to be getting paid out of the net profit.
That net profit's going places. That's not sitting in the bank account.
And that's another big thing. It's like, okay, you get a $400,000 loan. You have to pay back that loan, let's say over 8, 10, 12 years. And then you, out of that net profit, the loan is not a part of the net profit on a P&L, just so you guys know. And we'll talk about that more. But out of that net profit, you have to take some cash and put it in your own pocket as the owner to purchase food.
Right.
For your family.
For your time. All the time you're spending.
Yeah.
You get some free lunches.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, you're preaching to the choir over here, man. I mean,
well, it sounds like we're getting into the thing that we've kind of like put our hope in, is that we view the bill, the loan payment, as a part of the business.
Mm-hmm.
Just like rent, just like a payroll every 2 weeks. It's
the
just
cost to pay to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just like, so we're not, I don't think we're of the mindset, and maybe you could even consider home ownership of like, depending on, what your stance is on that. Some people are like always paying ahead, always putting down more on the principal, to try to pay off their house. Like one of their main goals is like, let's pay off the house. Or it's, let's just pay our payment. We're here.
Mm-hmm.
Easy. And maybe, you could talk more about like smarter things to do with your money, kind of like interest rate stuff. And I don't know how we feel about all that with our business, but it's just like, yeah, we have the loan and we pay it off. But where the rubber meets the road there is the loan is longer than the lease.
Yeah.
But in our case, the loan is tied to here as well.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and we don't have to get into all that, but yeah. It's like, it's all very, a lot of times interest rate dependent, as you were saying.
Right.
If inflation is, like as of recent 8%, and your interest rate is that or lower, why would you pay off the loan faster? It's the same thing, especially if you look at it in terms of a mortgage. Inflation being high, if you got a mortgage a couple years ago and your mortgage is 2.5%, then I would argue that it would not be a good move to pay off that mortgage early. Dave Ramsey would say different. He's a just no debt at all, as fast as possible guy. I think I fundamentally disagree, and I know a lot more than Dave
Yeah.
Ramsey.
Oh yeah.
And
I
you
have
have
a lot
more
more
money
money.
than Dave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
than his hundreds of millions of dollars. But anyways, all of that being said, my point here, my thesis was that the better question, and I think the question some people are wanting to know the answer to more, is, are you profitable? Like, is the business profitable? Because the business can be profitable without breaking even. You can not break even for 100 years and be profitable if your loan terms are correct.
Yeah.
Because profitability is when you look at that P&L, and that bottom line is black and not red. It says a positive number instead of a negative number. So again, your loan is not included in the P&L. Your distribution to yourself from your business is not included in the P&L.
So if you're saying that, you get to the end of the P&L and it's in the black $5,
Yeah.
but
You're
you have
screwed.
but you have a $4,000 loan payment every month and
Yep.
a $20,000 ownership distribution. To me,
Just put it in terms we understand.
yeah,
Yeah.
you give me $50,000 a month. It's like, well, $5 ain't going anywhere. So
Yeah. And that's where you need to start looking at another financial statement that you can find in your QuickBooks account, cash flow, your cash flow statement, because your cash flow is a lot better of a representation. Even, in our case, like at this roastery, another number
Behold.
another number that's not in there is inventory. So whenever you're playing with ordering great quantities of things, you purchase it. Like in your QuickBooks, you book it as an inventory item, which is technically like an asset. And then monthly, you convert that into cost of goods sold as you use it. In cafes, a lot of times you don't do things like that because you're buying them and using them extremely quickly. It's like a constant revolving door.
Whereas here, like we buy a sack of coffee.
Yeah.
And it takes us longer to.
Yeah, or we buy like 20 sacks of coffee.
Yeah.
And so you book that, or like 1 million sacks of coffee. Or like
multiple containers
like 1 billion
of coffee.
Yeah. And then you're converting that into inventory like every month whenever you do your monthly stuff.
That makes sense.
That number.
I like that.
So what I'm saying, I'll give just a bare bones example. We just spent $10,000 on bulk bags. Okay.
And they look sweet.
Yes, on custom bulk bags coming to you in a couple weeks. Those bulk bags, I spent that $10,000. If I looked at last month's P&L, it's probably way more positive than what our cash flow is, because I spent $10,000 and that does not reflect on the P&L because that is just packaging inventory.
Mm-hmm.
That's an
And-
asset.
Yes. It's just as if I converted my cash to
Bags.
bags
To bags.
that have value for us. They wouldn't have value for anyone else, which is funny.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
not
when
like
you're
a
talking
resale
about-
value.
Yeah, an inventory asset and a fixed asset are very different because that espresso machine right there has some amount of resale value.
Right.
We're not going to be able to easily.
It has a lot of resale value.
Now
Yeah.
it does.
That's Valor's first espresso maker.
We're
Okay.
not going to be able to sell our Valor bulk bags. So it's a little more risky. I mean, we can sell them when there's coffee inside of them.
We're just like assuming that we're going to be in business.
10,000 bulk bags later.
Yeah.
So
I'll hedge my bet on that.
all that to say, inventory and fixed assets, those don't go into your P&L. Like assets don't go into your net profit.
Okay.
So if you purchase an espresso machine, you're going to depreciate that at the end of the year. If that tax code still exists or whatever, or you're going to depreciate it over several years. Assets don't go into that bottom line. Distribution doesn't go into that bottom line. Loan payments don't go into that bottom line. So cash flow statement is your friend. Or if you are conceptualizing all of this, our cafe viability spreadsheet is also an excellent resource because you can input your loan numbers and you can see a more like actual profitability look
Yeah.
in that summary sheet.
Yeah, because all of this comes down to.
We'll have that linked up below.
Awesome. Yeah. All of these spreadsheets and these numbers come down to how do these numbers inform decision making? Like, just very practically for us, like Riley said about the bulk bags. When we're deciding, hey, are we in a good place right now to be able to drop $10,000 on custom bulk bags? Those are the questions that demand answers, you know, like, and so a P&L is not going to reflect that. But like when we're looking at that decision, what is the honest thought process you adopt to like evaluate if we're in a good place to do that or not? You just like look at the bank account. Like how much of big decisions like that are just looking at how much money we have at a certain point in the month, or like,
yeah, I would say more than they should be. I should have a better grip and run a little bit more analysis before we make bigger purchases.
And we not only just did that, but I was like, hey man, I got to buy more custom cups. It's going to be $15,000 coming out of one of the cafe's bank accounts. And he's like, yep, well,
okay, well,
got to do it.
What is the analysis you should take though? Like in a perfect world, or do you know?
Well, first of all, you should just have way more money in your account than could ever get you to zero. That would be goal number one. Yeah.
Sure.
So it's like you're never playing with getting below whatever your threshold is.
Which speaks to profitability.
Yes.
Like, and very simply, like if your business is profitable, that means like after all of your expenses, including loan payments, including owner distributions, including the third one,
inventory,
your bank account is growing.
Yes.
Month to month.
Yeah. We are not to where I want to be with that stuff.
Yeah.
Just to be clear. Like I want our bottom threshold to be much higher.
We're better than we were.
Yes.
Everybody, okay.
Thanks to the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, Third Wave Water has been like keeping Valor afloat.
So there's that. I mean, honestly, a lot of it is like I'm all about systems, and I need a better system for this because I'm like
another to-do app.
Because I certainly think about what point of the month we're in, and then I certainly look at our accounts and look at our credit cards, and I'm like, okay,
we got this. Yeah.
Another
it's like
month.
how a teenager makes financial decisions. Like how much money do I have in my bank account?
When you see triple digits, you're like, I'm living it up.
Yeah.
More realistically, beyond that, you should set a budget and stick to it. Like set a business budget, which we have. I will say we have not stuck to it the way that we should have this year. And a big part of that is just that like I haven't been as involved with financial analysis as I should be. Lyndon has greatly helped me be able to start focusing on that. And I built out some new reports in Shopify and stuff. So like on Monday. So we're getting more involved with that. But I mean, if you have a budget, again, the inventory stuff is kind of tricky. Like having the outlook on the year of like, okay, in this month, I'm going to have to spend blank on packaging inventory.
That's what I was going to say. Like when we made our budget, we didn't necessarily foresee that we would spend $10,000 on bulk bags.
Yeah.
Like that. It would be great if we had our year strategy built out. Like we're going to make this purchase in Q1, this in Q2, and our bank account will be at this at that point. So we're good. But
we did have the stuff we want to buy list.
That's been nice, right? Yeah. Like, you know, when we're looking at
where
our
we
business,
prioritize that stuff.
Yeah. You just put your big purchases you'd like to make in rank order of priority, and then
boat, sailboat, yacht, stuff like
mostly that. Like aquatic stuff.
Yeah.
Like
scuba gear,
like maritime kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Nautical.
Our top two were band sealer,
which has been great,
and bandsaw.
And
now that it works,
number 2 was bulk bags, and that's what we've purchased in that order.
Woo!
Yeah.
So there's all of that. That's why people companies have staff accountants, you know, like to run these financial models, and for you to be like, hey, I want to know this more, and then they're like, okay, I'll build out a report.
Well, it helps the executives make decisions quicker instead of like having to analyze, like, say, hey, we might want to do this. And then, 2 months later, you've thought about it more, and maybe you forgot about it kind of, and then you've got your financial report kind of, and then you're like, oh yeah, we said we wanted to do that. Like, where are we at now? It's like, oh, we're in a way different place. So like just the ability to know where your financial viability is at. So when you want to make a decision, you can just make it. Like having a staff accountant totally makes sense.
And so most of the people that are listening and us do not have the money for a staff accountant. So what do you do?
Well, first of all, I know that a full-time staff accountant is not even in the conversation for a coffee shop owner or especially a new shop. However, we've said this on the program, and it's just become more and more of a revelation for us. Is like, we started off as 3 owners, right? And as we've said multiple times on the program,
best friends.
3 owners, best friends. That automatically put us in a situation where we have to grow the company to a certain size to be able to pay our salaries. If you are opening a coffee shop and you're just one person, or you're a couple, or you're maybe 2 people, like, offload the books to someone else that isn't an owner, or like, a third party.
An accounting firm. Full circle.
Because then you don't have to give them equity. Like that, which is like kind of what we did, wherein Riley was like the books guy.
And like, you could have just dropped me.
Oh,
Riley was the books guy, but he was an owner. And that was like a lot of payroll, a lot of like percentage of our cost going to the books guy. But it's like, we could have been paying, just pretend you didn't exist. I don't even want to be a part of Valor if you're not a part of it.
I wouldn't be a part of Valor either.
Yeah, like Valor is you. You're the host of this program.
Yeah, for crying out loud.
But like, we could have, if it was me and you running it, Ethan, like, we could have been paying a lot less per month for accounting services.
And we would have freed up like $250,000.
Yeah, right.
It's 400 grand.
Do you guys agree? Do you guys follow that? Do you agree with that? Like, we're kind of we're overpaying for categorizing the books, and like, as we grew, we could have paid someone to like look at our receipts, categorize the transactions, and then come up with reports and like send us a report,
Well, that just gets into the funniest area of like, what's the best thing for the owner of a coffee shop to do,
Yeah.
Because most likely you're the highest paid individual. So it's like, what's the most high value, if that's the way you're thinking about it, kind of work that you should be doing? And what do you need to be just like paying someone else to do, hiring someone else to do, blah, blah, blah.
So much of that just has to do with your skills, I feel like. Like if...
Like, I'm good at dumping compost. I'm the best one in the business at it. So I have to do it.
Or like, okay, so let's just analyze that for a second.
Oh, Lord.
So you have been dumping the compost since we started.
6 years, yeah.
And it doesn't even take that much time, but it's just a good example of like, yes, we could delegate that to someone else on the team, right? But you like doing it. And for a while you worked at the farm where we dumped compost, and it was like a big part of your life, and it brought you joy, and it helped you in your work, which is the only thing that matters. Just kidding. It helped you in your work. And so it's like, is that the most efficient use of time for you? Maybe on paper, no, but holistically, sure.
Yeah, you could even say that about just working behind the bar.
Right.
Because when you start weighing in like culture and influence and fun, it's like it's awesome.
Excellence.
Yeah. But when you just think about like, well, we could be paying someone way less per hour to do what I'm doing.
I just feel like that's how people think that own coffee shops with no soul.
Oh my gosh.
Like really corporate, sterile feeling establishments. Doesn't even have to be a coffee shop. It's like, well, we could just be paying baristas way less, to work the bar and take the orders. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But you're going to have higher turnover, which is going to lead to worse bottom line, which is going to lead to your place feeling like it's full of people that work there that don't want to be there, which is a lot of places. And so there's like this we're just always in this balance between financial viability on one hand and on the other hand culture, but like the culture feeds the financial viability because you can't have financial viability without culture, like good culture. So it's interesting.
One last point. It would, I think I've told you this, it would be amazing to have a staff like accountant a couple of days a week. Mainly, there's just so many different KPIs, key performance indicators, that you can analyze.
I didn't need to know, but for them, thank you.
That you can analyze as a business in general. Because, and it's like how much time does one owner have to pull and make all of these reports? ChatGPT can do some of that stuff for you, which is awesome. And I've even wanted to like build out some stuff around that to update numbers and have it spit things back to me every month. But it's like, if you're our roasting business, you want to measure lifetime value and lifetime gross profit of one customer, or you want to measure the cost to acquire a customer. Like all of those things are extremely important. But then it's also important to measure like detailed costs of every single one of your drinks so that you can get a better overview of your COGS. I'm just saying, even right now, I'm like, oh gosh, I should be doing all these way more. I shouldn't just look at the bank account and like tell Ethan that he can buy those cups just from a hunch. How much is realistic for someone who also does a million other things? So like you're saying, you have to offload some of that. There's no way you can take it all on yourself. And as an owner, that's hard because you're looking at it and you're like, oh, that means I'm gonna have to spend money to get this person to do this. Yes, that might be money you're spending that you weren't spending before, but you're probably paying yourself more for that task than you can get someone else to do it for. And I mean, maybe, I guess it just depends on your situation. And on top of that, you can go do something else that is going to make you money. And you won't spend money in that area instead.
You'll make money instead of spend money.
Yes. And time is money.
Right. Yeah. Hey, you guys want to talk about something we haven't talked about on air yet?
Always.
And, we can edit this out if we need to, but you guys think we're going to work on bar in July? Is it owner bar takeover?
Yeah, we're locked. Riley's in.
We got to start. I think we could bring the house down.
Yeah, did you see my response about the hours? Are we doing limited hours or are we doing just a full day?
You guys can't do a full day. You're too weak. You literally couldn't do it.
You don't know nothing.
I know everything.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait. Is that next Wednesday?
No. It's July 10th.
July 10th.
Okay.
Basically, our Alpharetta squad is going on a field trip.
Yep.
Where to?
They're gonna visit our friends at Sidetrack.
Nice.
In Opelika.
Opelika.
It's Opelika. I was just messing around.
You're really in the habit of like mispronouncing words. Just kidding. So we were like, yeah, so that we can stay open and because it's fun, owner bar takeover.
It's a really funny way to phrase that.
Taking over our own coffee shop.
Like we're just going to work at our own coffee shop.
Right.
But it's funny. It's like that's not our normal thing.
I know. And that was
Are we going to get any help? 3 people, we're going to get smoked. Do we want to get smoked?
It'll be a good proof of concept.
I kind of want...
We have 3 people the vast majority of the time.
Yeah, I was going to...
I'm just saying, like, when word starts getting out,
oh my God.
I think there might be some, like, Atlanta airport. We might need to give Hartsfield Jackson a heads up.
Yeah,
from all like the incoming...
Hartsfield and Jackson, both of them.
For sure. So Wednesday, July 10th, if you want to come and get a coffee from one of us, that's probably worse than normal. Then come and do it.
Hey, maybe we'll remineralize
just
then.
For that day. Yeah.
To compensate.
And then I plan on 8 to 2. I'll just say that.
8 to 2 sounds cogent.
We're gonna need some time to dial in. We get there like 6:30,
and we don't wake up early anymore, so we can't make the 7 a.m.
Bro, should we do like expensive coffees on bar or something? Like
a slow bar? That's the worst idea I have ever heard.
This is all so stupid.
No.
Like us taking over our own bar and using expensive coffees sounds really cringe.
Yeah, and then we'll get all
cringe
different ingredients.
Yeah.
No, I think it's kind of cool. I think,
you're cringe.
It's kind of like a giving back to the community type thing where
all right, that just got weird.
We're
gonna grace Alpharetta with our presence.
We're gonna use way more expensive coffee than we usually do and charge the same price. And it's gonna be
like do different coffees on drip kind of thing?
Yes, and on espresso.
We're gonna get off air and you're gonna be like, dude, what if we gave everything away for free?
I mean, that would be kind of sick.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you're gonna
you are.
We were just talking about making money.
Well, you don't care.
Well, this is one of
you
the
looked at our
things
bank
where
account and you're like, it looks like we could do this.
we can give away coffee for one day. It's just one day.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think it's gonna be epic.
We need to have someone there filming us.
Yeah.
Like we should do.
We should get YouTube.
We should do like a Twitch stream.
Get YouTube out here to
a Twitch stream, and
Twitch stream.
It's just like us.
You can
on
stream
bar.
on any social media platform.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're right.
What about Steam? What's Steam?
Steam is where you download PC games.
Is there anything there? Any connection for us?
You download the PC game and then like probably play it on Twitch
and stream it.
Well, Linden will be available.
Honestly, I was thinking like, do we get it? Oh yeah, I already asked that. We get a Linden? Nah, she might go. She's part of the Alpharetta team.
I can tell her she can't.
Oh, come on. No, I'm just saying like if Linden was there, she could, like.
No, she wants to go. Who cares, dude? We'll get Sam to do it.
All right, people are bored. We got to wrap this.
We like this. I'm in.
We had fun. Join the newsletter for the community down below. Also download the Cafe Viability spreadsheet. Spoiler alert, if you do that, you'll be joining the newsletter for the community.
Sucker.
Just so you know.
Because we got your email.
Yeah.
Hey, I have something to say.
Lead generation.
Right over here. I said earlier that we had 3 coffees on the table, and I only mentioned 2.
Is it free throw?
The third one was free throw. And I'm sorry.
I'll have some of that because it's that good.
Glug, glug, glug.
Love y'all.
You did spit in it, but it's okay.
Well, that's the usual.
All right, we'll see y'all next week.
We're going to hang up.
Bye.